Welcome to Gameqraft, the YouTube channel where we bring games to life in the art form known as Papercraft. I'm Mike, the Papercraft designer and artist, and today I am going over one of the most awesome models that I've created here, which is the Pinky model from Doom 3. Check this out. So as you can see, it turned out awesome. Very glossy due to the fact that I've laminated it. That's pretty standard for the Papercraft that I create. I always make sure that it's laminated. It protects the ink very well, keeps it durable. The paper that I used on this is cardstock paper, so it is very durable. As you can see here, it's extremely tough. One of the best types of paper that you can use for Papercraft, I think, in my opinion. The glue is crazy glue, super glue. So it's definitely held together very well. A lot of people, when I show this to them, they can't believe it's made out of paper. And you can't blame them either, because really the way that it's put together, you could barely tell. The printer that I use is really just a basic printer, to be honest. I could use an upgrade probably, but it's the HP Envy 5000 series. It's really just a cheap printer. You don't really need anything too advanced for the printing. Just make sure that the texture is right. I think I did an excellent job of emulating the texture of how it appears in the video game. It took a lot of work. I had to change the contrast and brightness, saturation. There's a lot of things that I had to do to make sure that it emulates the way that it appears in the game. These legs are actually separate individual pieces. Like this joint is a separate piece altogether, and I had to manually cut them and put them together. All these objects clip each other, so I had to manually clip it with an X-Acto knife and cut it open and kind of splice it together and glue it together. Here's the model. Here's my development. Just to look at some information on this model. So this has 1,790 faces and 959 vertices, which is a lot. I kind of think of faces like puzzle pieces. They're individual triangles that make up the polygons. Think in terms of puzzle pieces, 1,790, that's one hell of a jigsaw puzzle. I have to fold it corresponding to the way that the model is made, and once it is glued together, it makes a three-dimensional object. As you can see here in the model itself, there's no teeth, right? So the reason why there's no teeth in the model is because these teeth are actually two-dimensional. They're flat, they're not three-dimensional. So to do this, I actually had to find the texture and manually print it out myself. So to give a nice little close-up here, let's take a look at those teeth. Turned out pretty cool, right? There was another cool thing in the model that I had to take out, which was like a glob of spit that comes out of his mouth. Really, I don't have a way to do that though. There's not really like a way that I can transparently print something so you can see through it. So I just had to take that out completely, unfortunately. Now this is stuffed. Because Papercraft objects are hollow, they can be very lightweight if you don't stuff it. So I have put some polyfill stuffing in here, which is like the same thing that comes out of a pillow or the same thing that comes out of like a stuffed animal, so it's like a plush. Now it is tough on the outside though, so it's not exactly plush. The Pinky character is one of the more iconic characters of Doom, especially for Doom 3. When Doom 3 was first being developed, id Software was promoting it by showing these clips of what the Doom Pinky model was doing in the game. I remember there's one specifically where he's in a bathroom, and it was super creepy. So with Papercraft models, there are very minute imperfections that are unavoidable. for example, where I actually have to glue the seams together. You can kind of see the seams right here, like these lines. That is really unavoidable due to the fact that you have to glue it together. Now there is a way that I have to cover it up sometimes. What I'll do is I'll just print an extra texture and I'll kind of just glue it over the top of it to kind of mask it. That might be something I'd do in the future, but really it's so unnoticeable that it might not even be worth it. So to give a little insight on the development of the Papercraft models, I have to extract the model from the Doom 3 video game itself in the folder. So once I've extracted it, I have to import it into an older version of Blender after I import some Python scripts into Blender so it can read the models. It's an MD5 model file, which is very specific for Doom 3. After I do that, I also have to import animation frames for whatever specific pose that I want the character to be doing. So, for example, the model will do something specific for attacking, or the model will do something very specific for its idle pose. This one is an idle pose where he's just kind of standing there. This is actually like an attention pose. The idle pose looked a little different, so he's more at like attention. But I thought that this is probably one of the better poses that he has, so I chose this one. Now if I wanted to, I could always go back and make one where he's attacking or he's biting. But some of those animation frames do look a little bit janky. So I think that just using a standard one, idle one, is best. So after I choose the animation, I apply it to the model, and I import it into the software that I use for the Papercraft, which is Papercraft Designer. Once I make it to get imported into Papercraft Designer, it's pretty much all downhill from there. I have to design a template that can be printed. I print it out, and then I laminate it, I cut it. And to help with the cutting process, that's one of the most longest processes if you don't have a machine to do it. So I invested in a Cameo Silhouette machine that can automatically cut it. So I also have a video on that. If you want to check it out, I can link that to the description as well. With Doom Eternal right around the corner, I was lucky enough to get featured in the news section of the Slayersclub. If you haven't heard of the Slayersclub, it's a promotional website that id Software and Bethesda has created to promote Doom and to bring Doom fans together. It's really awesome. If you haven't checked that out yet, there is going to be a link in the description below, so go ahead and head over there. If you'd like to see some of the other models that I've crafted, head over to the Gameqraft's YouTube channel. I have several videos of some of the other models that I've made as well, so check that out if you're interested. I also have some other future videos that are up and coming of some of the models that I haven't shown off yet. So hit that subscribe button if you'd like. I definitely would appreciate it. It helps out the channel, and you can keep up to date with any of the new content that I make going forward. If you'd like to follow Gameqraft on social media, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also have a Facebook group where some of our templates are public. That's Gameqraft Labs, 3D Design and Print. All those links are going to be in the description below. If you'd like to support our work, please check out our Patreon page, where you can be a patron for as little as $1 a month. Every little bit definitely does count. So we appreciate your time, everybody. Thanks again for checking out Gameqraft. This is Mike, signing off.
Ugh.